Hello and welcome back to the finish line and our jump season special. Well, we're going to look back at our top 5 moments from the season just gone. And so, we have Tom, all the way from Yellow Belly Land. Oh no, Wexford. Tom, the chair is fucking fine.
I am, I'm not self-isolating, but I feel like I am. It's pretty desperate, isn't it?
It's absolutely madness. It's not great now, to be honest.
You're not looking the best, Tom, to be honest.
Look, shook.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I had to go and get a hat. I haven't had a shower today, not gonna lie.
Did you have a shower?
Working from home.
Did you have a shower yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Just haven't today. My hair's a complete mess. Need a shave. What am I gonna look like after about 2 months of this?
Let's be honest, you're still getting over Apple, Tom.
Yeah.
You're right as well. We're looking at another 4 or 5 weeks of this, I'd say.
We are looking at least that, I'd say.
It's going to be at least a month anyway. Well, the 19th of April is 4 weeks basically away, so it's definitely a month.
Yeah.
And
like
if it's
they said the 29th of March over here, and they had no chance.
The 19th
of April, they've no chance.
No.
The 19th of April, maybe people will get back to work. Maybe I'll be able to get back to work, but racing won't be back. Not big groups like at courses and stuff. That won't be happening.
I can't even see the Guineas going ahead at this stage.
Yeah, I said to Andrew this morning, I don't think the Guineas is going ahead.
No. What's that? The first weekend.
It's
in May?
the 2nd and 3rd of May. The 1st of May is a Friday, I think.
I think we've a couple of months of this. Like if Ryanair released a statement saying that they don't expect to fly in April or May. And like there are people who are going to want to sell tickets in advance. You don't just hop on a plane.
Yeah.
So if they're thinking they're not going to fly in May, I don't think we'll be back doing anything till June, to be honest.
Well, it all comes down to it's like leaving people travel around again. Whatever about getting back to work, you might be back in the office and that, but there'll be no one travelling between countries until the middle of the summer.
I'd say you're even looking at the autumn time for people to start getting back on flights.
There's kind of rumors going around the kids won't be back to school at all till September.
No,
I'd say the state exams for over here. Obviously, the English people that watch would be different, but I can't see them going ahead as well. They'll be like some sort of how you did over the 2 years. They'll have to come to some sort of percentage kind of thing for the kids.
Mad times we live in. But what you want to talk about Gordon's comment, did you?
Yeah, we'll touch on. Actually, I don't know if anyone's seen what Gordon. Well, I didn't actually see it yet. Dave's the one who told me this morning about.
He had an interview yesterday. Obviously, the Racing Post and all that is closed down, but the app is still there and there's still stuff coming up on it. But he had an interview about not completely cancelling Punchestown and Ferryhouse. I think Ferryhouse here is a 3-day meeting and Punchestown's a 5-day. So he's saying having 2 days for Ferryhouse, which should be a couple of Grade 1s and the Irish Grand National, and then 3 days of Punchestown, and I think he's saying majority of the Grade 1 races and maybe scrap some of the handicaps, the lesser handicaps, lesser races. I'd say
he was talking about doing that inside closed doors.
Yeah, like I'd say he didn't go further into it much, but it'd have to be held at Punchestown, I'd say. Depending, he said maybe sometime towards the end of May. I reckon still it'll be behind closed doors.
I reckon they can hold them at both places. They're not going to move Ferryhouse from Ferryhouse with all the money they're going to lose out on it.
But does Ferryhouse have flat racing as well?
No.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. That wouldn't impact them too much. No. I just don't know when we're going to get out of this, and if we're going to be out and back travelling horses around at the end in May.
He was saying
I wouldn't have money on it right now.
Yeah, he was saying towards the end of May, but like it'd have to be towards the end of May, because if you get any further than that, the winter horses just won't be able to act on the ground. It'll be too far.
I think that's going to be more of an issue than anything is the ground. What's the ground going to be like towards the end of May, start of June?
Unless we get we get the deluge.
You've got to keep your horse in training from now on then. So you've got to, as an owner, you've got to take a punt that you're going to keep your horse in training all the way into the end of May, or all the way through the rest of March and April, hoping that something's going to be on in May.
I think they're making that decision today, though.
Chance.
They're having a meeting about it today, as far as I know.
Meeting about it today. Ruth Carr's already cancelled cancelled her horses. She still has the horses. I was reading about it this morning as well. She's
Yeah.
told all her owners basically she won't charge them for training fees. They're all at the yard, but they're just being brought out in the mornings and the evenings as you would normal horses, a bit of pick of grass. They're not being trained. She said she's basically cancelling off April and May. She said maybe I'm wrong. We'll be racing in May, but mine won't be ready because I'm not training them to be ready now. I couldn't justify charging owners when we're not racing.
It's a tough position. I spoke to a couple of guys who've got horses in training, and I know one yard in the UK who's already down to low 20s from up around 100. And why would you keep your horse in training, especially if you had a jumper? You just write the season off, I think, throw it out in the field. But what's more difficult is the flat horses, because you kind of need to keep them ticking over. But you don't want to be paying full training fees. It's difficult for syndicates then as well. Like if you're charging guys full whack for their horse being in training, like how would you balance that out if you turn around and say, well, your flat horse was ready to run, but now he's not going to run for 2 months, but I'm still going to charge you full fees. It's difficult to do, but at the same time, guys have got a business to run. So I think just reducing the fees as much as possible, but it's not. A lot of trainers are on tight budgets, especially smaller trainers. You know, they're not able to charge fortunes like some people are. You know.
Yeah.
Well, her point as well was the staff in the yard. She said she's three full-time staff, 3 part-time staff, and if she's declared that she's basically not in business right now, so the government will pay the majority of their wages, so it looks after them as well in that sense.
It's hard for small trainers in yards at this time because they do have a small percentage of horses, and they're not going to be big spending owners, so they're going to be hit somehow by it all.
It's going to be hard for big yards though as well, because you think about a big yard. If you had 150 horses, you've got to still look after those horses. So you still need a certain amount of staff to look after them in some way, shape or form. And then are you looking at, if you keep them on, you still have to pay them. You can't just let them go. Like if you're a small yard, you have 15 horses and they're not going to be in training, you could nearly look after them yourself or with one other person and let the rest of the staff go. But with a big yard, you can't let the rest of the staff go. So you've got to pay them their full wages, but you're not going to be getting your full amount in. It's a really tricky one.
Yeah, there's so many questions that need to be answered by especially the English government. Because, like, over here, there's been clear, like, packages put out for self-employed for you and for people getting let go.
He's being really clear, lads. I think he's clear as mud right now.
Clear as mud on a wet December morning, yeah?
Yeah.
Him and Trump.
Right, enough about doom and gloom. Let's get back into this bit of giant
I'm
world.
going to pull this curtain across 2 seconds.
It's not like we're half recording this or nothing.
Now, that's a bit better, I think.
The whole of the world is
Maybe
in
it's
isolation,
better.
and
Oh, for fuck's sake.
the whole world is in isolation, and you care what you look like on a podcast that a load of men watch. Well, there's any women out there too. How you doing?
Dave up.
I'm back. There we go.
Do you want to start again now?
No, we'll keep kicking.
To be fair, it's a bit dark, but it does look better. The sun was shining in your eyes there, wasn't it?
It was blinding me. Now the light's starting to flicker.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know
House
what that is?
podcast. The
At
washing
least we're
machine
still
might be
entertaining.
Do you know what? That's a migraine from not going outside for the last week. Get some
Yeah,
fresh
it's
air, boy.
in January. The washing machine gone now. Fucking nightmare, so it is. But anyway, must be Cheltenham money gone.
We installed a new shower and a new oven in the 2 weeks that this has been going on.
What?
Yeah, a new shower and a new oven.
Where?
In Ballybeckdown.
Did you?
Yeah, oven's great now. Shower's lovely too.
We took to gardening yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, so convincing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long few months.
It is. I can't even. I've walked so much in the last 2 weeks. My legs are about to hang off me at this stage.
I'm so bored. I'm actually going back training.
Jesus.
That's
I know.
pretty significant for anybody that
That is significant for Andrea.
and he actually he enjoyed it as well, which shows that he really is bored.
Like, I packed it in like 5 years ago after my body fell apart, and
Is anyone else eating like everything around?
I'm eating. I'm a borderline alcoholic as well.
I'm obviously training and trying to keep a routine, but I bought 2 Easter eggs the other day. Those Easter eggs are gone now. They're not.
Yeah.
Convincing myself they were for Easter, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I went down to Tesco yesterday to get blackcurrant juice for the kids and milk. I came with blackcurrant juice, kettle crisp, bottle of red wine, and I forgot the juice.
Every time you walk into the kitchen, though, there's a biscuit to be eaten. Like, I mean, it's just so bad.
It's ridiculous.
I tell you what I did. I tell you what I did start doing. People were sending me on like the names of films, but it was in emojis. So you had to make out the emojis and then make a film. So like, say one of them was Forrest Gump. It was like a fella running and then 3 trees and a box of chocolates. So I spent about 2 hours playing those games last night, which was entertaining, but that's not going to last very long either.
To me.
I will. I have 3 of them. I'll send
I
them
want
on.
something.
We dragged Monopoly out the other week as well.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's going to make an
How did
appearance.
that end?
4 hours later, with about 6 people playing.
Who was the first to cry or get hit?
You definitely won. You're an accountant.
Siobhan walked off now. She was out by second. She didn't like that at all. Yeah, I came second. So
You didn't swindle enough money anyway.
no, I was told to stop cheating. So
You were probably trying to put each way money on the houses instead of just buying them.
Can I just buy the fence?
Can I buy half the house and loan the other half back to you?
yeah, I didn't know there was a strategy around Monopoly. Apparently there is.
There is a strategy. Some people are
Yeah.
just rootless playing Monopoly.
Is it not just buy the most expensive house
That's the strategy.
and just riddle them?
No, there's certain houses on parts of the board that you need to get. It's
Yeah.
not just the expensive ones.
Yeah, big time.
That's for another video.
Right,
How
we'll
to
do
win
a
a Monopoly.
podcast another day.
Oh, a game of Ludo or something. Right, let's get going. Enough of this. Even though it's fun.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, our top 5 highlights from the jump season. They don't have to be good ones. They don't have to be bad ones. Either or. Dave, when you're finished moving around there anytime this year.
This new phone, it slips everywhere.
What a book he's got.
What?
Yeah, it's a book.
That's his debt book.
I am
See my
actually.
name on it
I
then.
do keep track of things. I know I don't bring books into the podcast, but I have other jobs that need to be kept track of.
Oh, I've also changed your name on my phone. Absolute Tom is gone.
What is it?
Oh,
Each way, Tom.
no.
Each way, Tom. I love it. Right,
So going forward, lads.
my top 5.
Take the
Will
first
I go
Go one.
1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Go 5 to 1.
All right.
And 5.
Number 5 is Epatante over the whole entire season. So when she won the Jerry Phelan, then she won the Christmas hurdle, and then culminating in the champion hurdle.
Came with the big words.
Yeah, I like using big words every now and again. It makes me feel important. I've nothing else to keep me entertained anymore. I just think it was impressive all season how she improved, and I was full sure after going through the race that she'd win the champion hurdle, and she duly obliged. So I'm proud of that one.
Well done. So I'll tell you that one. Right.
Thanks. Number 4 is Sam Crow, a horse I do not like and has been slated many times on this podcast and couldn't make head nor tails of, and I just cannot believe the training performance that Gordon Elliott.
Look how interested Tom is.
You alright, Tom?
I'm looking something up, lads. Hang on. I thought we were doing this as well. Like, I thought we were doing alternate ones. Is Dave giving his 5 now?
Apparently so. Dave didn't listen to the
come on,
brief.
Dave.
Oh, go on then. Yeah, Andrew, you can give number 5. I'll come back to Sam Crow.
Right. My number 5 is Envy Allen as a whole. It's not an obvious one. That's why. Well, it is an obvious one. I mean, that's why it's 5. I just think this thing is an absolute machine. His whole season, he was beating everything that's put in front of him. Everything behind him was winning. I think he is stamp of a Gold Cup horse in a few years. I think next year is JLT.
You love him, don't you?
I love him. He's my new Faheen.
Yeah, I can tell.
He's
You're
just
going
a
to follow him to the end of the
He's
earth
just
now.
a big beast. I love big beasts. Yeah, Envy Allen's whole season, he's very good. I'm going to use your word, cumulation.
Culminating.
What he said. I think it was a very impressive win in the Ballymore for how far back he was coming down the hill to get that close in a matter of strides.
Those the 3 horses.
Did I talk over you?
3 horses. The 3 horses he bet are going to be very good as well.
Yeah. So my 5th is Envy Allen. Tom, your 5th, my man.
My fifth pick now is It Came to Pass winning the Fox Hunters for a few reasons. One, the main reason being is just nice to see a horse from like a proper point to point in background come and win this. For the O'Sullivan family, who are proper like point to point enthusiasts, Eugene has a few on the track. Interesting to note, he actually trained Chris's Dream before that move to Henry de Bromhead. He's a very good horse from. But It Came to Pass winning for the smaller trainer. It's easy. Like, it was a great shootout between Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott. They'd 7 winners each. But when you think about it, that's half the races.
Yeah, it's
half
madness.
the races at Cheltenham were won by 2 trainers. I think Phil Pobbs pointed out another day. I think most of the races are won by like a handful of trainers had won a lot of races.
I've seen that. He was quite bitter over that. He was.
Little bit bitter over that now. Apparently he wasn't, but it sounded a little bit. But it was just nice to see someone from a smaller background get on the mark on the big stage. And It Came to Pass, bolted up. I couldn't believe how he kicked clear. I thought she was going to win it, but when he kicked clear after the last, like he shot up all the way up the straight.
Yeah, he bolted it.
Yeah, it was really good to see, and I thought that was nice to see a smaller, proper point-to-point yard get on the mark at the Cheltenham Festival.
Nice pick, Tom. Well done. That was sentimental.
Yeah, I prefer if Billy Way had won, but who cares? I had money on him.
Well, that was a bitter.
I am bitter. Number 4 for me, like I said, is Sam Crow. I think it's one of the best training performances ever to get this horse back to grade 1 level form at Cheltenham. He looked all the world like he was gone at the game. Didn't put it in at the end of his races, but it was obviously a breeding issue, and I don't know how many breeding operations they had, but they seem to have fixed it. So that's number 4 for me, and I don't like the horse.
I don't like him either. It was bigger than Jesus coming back from the dead. It was Jesus coming back from the dead, apparently, according to Matt Chapman.
I'm not going to comment on that horse coming back.
Go on, no, go on.
I told you privately my thoughts on that. I don't know how he's
Share, Tom. Share.
Miracle work at Gordon Elliott.
I think there's a few antihistamines in him or something like that, do you?
I'd say, yeah, he must have been there out in the. He was stable outside, and he's had a couple of wind ups. Yeah.
Leg
Miracle
replacements.
worker. Yeah.
In other words, plot job. Plot job, in other words.
Yeah.
Is it me next?
No, Andrew.
Is it me?
Andrew's next.
Right. I was going to do Goshen, but you haven't done, so there's no point in that. So number 4 is the Dublin Chase, Chacun Pour Soi against Min. To me, one of the highlight races of the year. For the pace they went, for the jumping performance out of Chacun, and to keep going. Everyone's saying he was crying out for the line. He was dying. Well, I did at the preview as well. But looking back at it again last night, the time they did was ridiculous. For Mint to come out and win then the Ryanair at Cheltenham was ridiculous. Chacun would have pissed up in the champion chase. So to me, that was one of the best races I've seen this season. And yeah, I just enjoyed looking at it as a spectacle. Even down the back straight where Chacun jumped the third last, was it? With a side camera view where he just absolutely flew it, and he was gone 2 lengths ahead of Min before Min even hit the ground, and Min was in front of him jumping.
One of the lowlights of the whole year was not seeing him again in the champion chase and Altior. It's a shame, really.
Yeah, it took the whole gloss off the champion chase.
I think we were robbed. I mean, that race was turning out to be the race of the festival nearly.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom.
And for the 2 of them to come out the week of the festival is just gutting. But yeah, Andrew, I was up there at Leopardstown that day, and he put in a serious performance. The way that horse travels and jumps is phenomenal. When he's fit, like he's a proper horse.
Oh, he's a champion chaser in the making. Hopefully next year, all going well.
Hopefully.
You see, they're betting for it.
No.
6 Tonies.
We'll take some of that.
Madness.
Yeah, but you're betting on him to be fit though and get there. That's
he's had numerous problems throughout the year, so.
I was only a foot abscess though. If it was run the next day, he'd run it.
That leads quite nicely on to my number 4. It wouldn't be a finishing line podcast without mentioning the Plutard.
Oh god.
And A Plutard at Christmas running over 2 miles and winning was one of my highlights of the year. Just because I'd taken so much stick from you two about a Plutard and how you thought he was not up to the grade. And
He wasn't.
We said he wasn't up with the Ryanair.
Yeah.
Me and you actually agreed on that.
Grade 1 horse.
Me and you actually agreed on that. We had him both back that day.
It was. I backed him because I thought he was a big price, but I honestly thought he'd be placed. I did not think he was good enough to win over 2 miles in a Grade 1 like that. But just the performance he put in, and then the way he veered when he got to the line and pricked his ear, it just looked like he had loads left. And I think that was the day. I think that was his performance of the season. He proved himself to be a proper Grade 1 performer. Look, whatever happened at
What you make of the Cheltenham performance? We didn't get to talk about that.
I don't think he turned up. I don't think it was him. Like he travelled well enough in that 2 mile Grade 1 around Leopardstown. He travelled a little bit behind the bridle, but he never looked to be going a yard at Cheltenham. I didn't think he didn't look to travel. He didn't jump well enough. He was very disappointing in my book, and he still managed to get there as if he was going to win it 2 out. You know.
He was taking that extra half stride into every fence.
Yeah, I see it the same way. I reckon it wasn't his full. Wasn't fully him at Cheltenham, I don't think.
No. Look, I always had Min as the one to beat, and I think if Min would have beat him and he'd have finished behind him as he did, fair enough. But to put St. Calvados in there, I think he's better than St. Calvados, put it that way.
Yeah. He's had to improve in some load out this season to change the tactics.
He is. And another one of my highlights would actually be Harry Whittington getting that festival winner, because like he's a fantastic trainer, really is going places, really like kind of quiet, unassuming kind of guy. But he's a top class trainer and just needs the horses.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many, so he doesn't.
What's that?
He doesn't have that many. He's only like 20 odd, don't he?
But not that many. He just needs top class horses, basically. But he'll get them. But yeah, no, a Plutard at Christmas was my highlight. One of my highlights, as he really cemented himself and made the belief was there then after that.
And it's gone now.
I know, he'll come back.
He will. I will never say he's not a Grade 1 horse
I
again.
hope he's not presenting Percy for you though, Tom. I hope you don't hang on too long if he starts leaving you down.
Yeah.
Did you see what the interview of Dave? I don't know if it's an interview, but a piece he said, "Oh, if only he stood up at the second last, what could have been." Stop now.
People need to give up on that horse.
What could have been? He would have finished 4th. No, he would have finished 5th. Anyway, right.
Yeah.
You're number 3.
Number 3 for me is when Lost in Translation won the chase at Haydock, the Betfair chase at Haydock. The race is a spectacle.
You ever sit forward like?
I can't. My back is killing me.
I don't care. I'll kill you if you don't sit forward.
I worry about my back more than I worry about anything else. I'm getting old. Lost in Translation beating Bristol de Moy. It's basically Bristol de Moy's track, and the two of them going at it up the straight. I thought it made for a great race. It was good to watch. And when I was actually watching it on my phone, and I remember texting Andrew, I got off the race and text Andrew. I was lost in translation after falling because I can't see him when they were down the back. But Robbie was just kind of kidding him along at the back, and then coming up the straight, then was following Bristol de Moy. I thought it was a great race. So Lost in Translation, who I think is a really decent horse as well.
Yeah, he just doesn't stay that extra furlong. He stays 3-1. Doesn't stay 3-1.5. Poor fucker. He jumped well that day.
Yeah, he jumped very well. Travelled lovely too.
That it? That you? Third? Yeah. Right. My third is my absolutely girlfriend, Honeysuckle, winning the Mayor's Hurdle. I just, as everyone probably knows, you're watching this a good while, I've loved this horse ever since she won her maiden hurdle at Ferryhouse, and about 6 races after that at Ferryhouse. She showed herself to be one of the best mares in training, if not the best. The ride Rachel gave her to get up that gap, well, you could fit a truck through it that Robbie Power left. Because she looked in trouble coming just behind him as she got boxed in by Benny and Robbie. She took a little pull on her and just waited for a gap and got it. Shoot through. I never thought she looked in trouble the second she hit the front. I thought if Benny got closer to her again, she would have went on again. She had loads left in the tank. And to me, probably one of the best rides of the festival. Because I'm not allowed to mention the other one because I will cry if I ever mention that champ fella again.
Go on, champ.
No, but Honeysuckle, it's nice when you're following a horse since they're maiden hurl, they end up being what you think they're going to be. Doesn't happen often. But yeah.
You usually get disappointed somewhere along the way, like Aplu Tom.
That's harsh.
Sorry, Tom.
That's still too early. Yeah, but Honeysuckle's winning the Mayor's Hurdle, I think is one of the top highlights of my season. And I hope that God she comes back next year and doesn't go near that 2.5 mile chase next year. Which she probably will, because she looks a chaser.
She jumps like a chaser.
My number 3 is actually Honeysuckle winning the Mayor's Hurdle.
There we go.
So I won't go on too much about it, but just I wonder what he thought about Willie Mullins' comments. I mean, Robbie opened the door. Like Willie said, I think you thought it was one of ours coming up his inner.
Do you know what I was looking back at it?
He definitely did, because there's no way you'd do that if you didn't think it was one of Willie's. But like, I have an issue with that, right? Because like it's not even like Willie's was owned by the same owner. Like,
yeah.
I think you should ride to your best position, and I think you should ride to your best ability to get your horse in the best position possible. I don't think you should be opening up massive gaps like that for team horses to come up through the inside. Like, it's not team racing.
Yeah,
You're
I agree.
racing against each other.
But if
they do it on the flat a lot, and I don't know. I don't really agree with it, to be honest.
if you like, I looked back at it the other day, and what I think happened, Mullins had another horse in the same colours, Alifia or
L5
in it. She was next to Honeysuckle, and I think Robbie looked back and see the colours and thought it was Honeysuckle. Rachel was gone into the inside, and I'd say he thought Benny was on the inside as well. Benny was where Rachel was. I say that's where Robbie thought that Benny Juju was, but Rachel was there and went up thinking that Alifi was on his outside. Honeysuckle was on his outside, but it was L5, whatever the hell his name is. Who cares? That's what I thought happened looking back at it. But as you said,
he shouldn't be riding that way though, like you said, Tom. Either way.
But look, if
he didn't ride Stormy Island to her best,
he probably went a bit slow. But you're looking at they're on the same stable. Robbie Power probably knew he was bet he wasn't going to win, so he said, right, the hell with it, I'm going to be placed. I leave our other horse go and win.
Yeah, but you shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't, because the horses can fall and all that. Benny fell last year, so you should ride your own race to try and win. Like,
well, I know exactly what you're saying, but I'm looking at it as if I was on a team. Like, they're a team.
But it's not a team.
I know, but they're on the same trainer. They're on the same kind of thing.
But they're not the same owner or anything like that.
I get that, but he knew he was bet, and he knew he was riding for Willie Mullins, and he knew Benny was behind him. If he left a little gap for Benny to go through, Team Mullins will win for who he's riding for. I'm looking at it as a team perspective. I know individual jockeys should ride for themselves and the owner that they're on. Yes, he probably didn't go fast enough on Stormy Ireland on the day to get her to our best ability and our best placing. But saying that, she died a slow death. So yeah. she probably was going as fast as you could.
You say all that, but what he did in the end was in turn he actually cost his team the race.
I don't think it would have cost. I think Honeysuckle would have beat her anyway.
I don't know.
Willie Mullins doesn't think that. Willie Mullins was very bitter over that.
Yeah, I debate who would have won it, but I think Paul Townend actually didn't do anything wrong. I think he did actually everything perfect, presuming that Robbie Power wasn't going to do something.
Mm. Oh, Tom's at the freezing. Tom, hello.
Hello, Tom.
Tom. Aplu, Tom. Each way, Tom. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
He's back.
We're back.
Oh, we're back. He's back.
He's back.
We're back.
We're back.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't agree with it anyway, and I think it just showed then it actually cost him the race.
Yeah, look, we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Well, we might next year if they go against each. You see Benny going over fences?
Yep.
See her going over fences
No.
now? No, I don't. I can't either. I can't.
I think why not send her over
I can
fences
see her
now?
going stairs next year.
I'd say they're cracking. They didn't go stairs this year. What happened with Paisley Park?
I 100% guarantee you they'll run her in the Mayor's Hurdle again.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah. But what you think she should do is irrelevant. What they'll actually do is they'll run her in the Mayor's Hurdle again.
But then they have Constantista this time.
They'll surely imagine Benny's better than her.
Yeah, but
True.
they probably think Benny can win the stairs. She's a stayer. Our best performance of the year was over 3 miles.
3 miles, yeah.
Anyway, your number 2. What?
Dave's number 2, yeah?
Yeah. My number 2, and Andrew said it's a good feeling when you're right about a horse and you follow a horse, and it's Album Photo winning the Gold Cup again, because I've been so hard up on him all year. I really fancied him. I thought he was bringing the best form in. Was worried about Lost in Translation. Said that in a couple of the previews. It was full sure Santini would stay, but too slow. And Album Photo duly obliged and had us a very good Friday.
He did. Very, very good Friday. He's my second as well. So, yeah, I've been following ever since he fell. Ever since he got ran out of Punchestown. I backed him time before that at Fairyhouse when he won. I think he was 10-1 at the Paddy Power Chase or something it's called, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been following him since that, and since last year I thought he was head and shoulders above everything in it. He wasn't head and shoulders, but he got the job done. I think, going back on the Gold Cup, I'd say the one horse that was so unlucky in that was Monolly. If Rachel didn't get that bad jump at the top of the hill, she would have still had that inside rail, and I reckon she would have went very close to winning that, because he flew home as well, and he got dragged out the whole way outside, and he finished 4th, beating a length, if that. Why Santini, getting on Santini, Nico de Boinville, if I ever seen so much of a bitter man to throw out every excuse in the book why he got bet.
Look, he was giving out saying they didn't go fast enough, but to me, if they had gone faster, Album Photo would have won more impressively as well.
Yeah. Album Photo had the tactical speed to get him where he needed to be when the race was heating up. He had the speed to get himself where he needed to be at that time. Santini didn't. And Santini was finished strong at the game.
They did everything they could for Santini. He just don't have that speed, like you said. And they finally put a pair of cheek pieces on him because he's the laziest yak going. I don't know why they didn't do that all along.
It's like me in horse form.
Basically.
Now I have my cheek pieces on because I'm in isolation.
Right, my number 2, lads, is Faheen.
On the machine.
And particularly a race at Limerick at Christmas. I just thought Sam Crow was coming into that off the back of, he looked good. He looked good at Down Royal, and it was a case of, is Sam Crow back? Could Faheen match him? Faheen hadn't run in a race of that grade of fences, and he comes out and he absolutely bolted up and he put him to absolute shreds. And it was just great to see him do it. Patrick Mullins enjoyed it. He jumped off him when they came in, and it was just fantastic to see. It was when we really thought Faheen could have a proper Grade 1 future over fences. So, yeah, I enjoyed that one at Christmas.
That's, going without saying, probably one of the best performances of the year.
It kind of made Christmas, to be honest. It was deadly.
You were in my house, my mother and father's watched it, and it was the second closest race to ever make me nearly cry.
I'll be honest,
it was amazing.
I've now, loads of people really have been on this Faheen bandwagon for a long time. I never have. But when he won at Christmas, and Andrew convinced me to back him, I was worried about Sam Crow, and since then I've been honoured as well. I was just hoping he'd win at Cheltenham as well.
Not even the time he won up in Punchestown when we were up there.
You've convinced me a few times when I've been against him, and he's warmed my heart now recently.
He is a machine. That breaks down every now and then, but he's still a machine.
I kind of knew he wouldn't win. I had a feeling he wouldn't win at Cheltenham, but I just couldn't back anything other than him because of Christmas and because of Leopardstown.
He nearly should have as well, though. He made that mistake and he just lost his position.
Yeah.
Sam Crow took his place, and I just feel if that didn't happen,
he
would have been able to hold his position there. I think he would have outstayed him.
I think he would have
won.
He
jumps some of him a bit slow, Tom, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's careful. He never looks like he's going to fall, but he can be a bit careful when he's wrong at once. So.
I think the mistake he made at Punchestown is that they're putting into his head, these are not hurdles, they can't fall on the ground, I'll fall on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's careful, and he doesn't look like he'll fall, but yeah.
Well,
can hinder it sometimes.
I reckon if Punchestown goes ahead at some stage, I reckon we see him in the Gold Cup to go out in a high.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think why not?
Might retire him then after.
They are. This is last run. They're retiring him this year.
Right.
Dave, number one.
Number one, Dave.
Number one for me, I don't know, it might be obvious, but although he fell at Cheltenham, Goshen's performance at Cheltenham to me was just immense. The pace of the race, the horses that were in the race, was actually a good triumph hurdle. The stables that have the horses that were up towards the head of the betting reckon that they're decent horses. The Skeletons really like that All Mankind. And when they jumped the third hurdle, and Goshen came up and basically headed All Mankind because he couldn't lead him, I was like, this thing is absolutely going to bolt it. I had no issues from 3 hurdles. I knew he was going to win. And when he kicked off the bend, off the pace they were going, and he was still basically hands and heels, and he just went 12 lengths clear in a flash, then he falls and adds to the story. But if he comes back next year and wins the champion hurdle, which I think he will, it'll make up for everything. That racing's all about stories. It's like what happened with Album Photo. Andrew said about him running out, and now Paul's won 2 Gold Cups on him. So I think it's only going to add to the story if he ends up being a champion hurdler. He's young. He's going to be 5 next year. So if he wins the champion hurdle next year as a 5-year-old, he'll be around for 4 or 5 years after that. He's a little bull. He's not like overly big, or he's going to go jumping fences, I wouldn't say. So he could be something to talk about for years to come.
He's going on the flat apparently for one run.
I'll follow him wherever he goes.
Apparently they're saying Ebor.
He went so fast. They went so fast, and to be able to travel like he did, and then kick off that pace, and Jamie Moore's saying that he still had loads left. It's phenomenal, really.
Yeah, I hope they don't kill him on the flat now. I just don't see the point. Whatever he's going to do on the flat, he's going to do a lot better over hurdles. You know, he's not going to be a grade 1 horse on the flat, is he?
No.
I know the Ebor is worth £1 million or whatever it is, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to see them kill him on the flat. I'd like to see him have a nice hurdles campaign next year.
I think the talk is.
I think he'll win the champion hurdle, lads. I do.
So do I. Yeah.
I think the talk was from Gary was we'll have one run, maybe Ebor, put him away, and he's going to be trained for the champion hurdle.
Yeah.
Like you look at the champion hurdle next year, right? Epatant's going to come back. And I'd say Abracadabras might be a champion hurdle horse as well. Shishkin's gone over fences. So he basically going to have Abracadabras and Epatant to beat. Maybe Bouvardere will be back, but surely he's too old by that stage. I reckon he'd pick up the 2 of them and just kick him back out. Like
if he turns up uninjured, whatever, stays on the feet, he'll win in a minute.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's an absolute monster. Right. My number 1 is Faugheen winning at Leopardstown or Christmas time. This is the one that nearly got me. Nearly cried this time. I never shouted a horse home so loudly in my life. It was just the way it all happened. They all jumped the last together. Paul stuck him down for the drive. At the camera angle, looked like easy game was coming to get him. He just stuck his head down and straight through the line. It was like a proud father moment.
I miss racing, lads, talking about this.
I can't even bring myself to watch Turfontaine. Saying that, it's... Oh.
Yeah, I did have a bet in Turfontaine yesterday.
He had 20 on something.
Jesus.
Got bet on the line.
Bad times, lads.
It is.
For fuck's
my
sake.
number 1 might be a bit surprising this, but he did me 2 good turns this year. There's a horse called Easy's Land, the cross-country winner.
Great horse.
A lot of people don't seem to want to get in the bandwagon, maybe because he's trained in France. I don't know why.
No, I'm firmly honest. I'm up by the front there.
He'd surely win that race now for the next couple of years.
He's an absolute monster.
He is a machine of a horse, lads. And to be fairness now, we knocked the jockey, and I hands up, I knocked him as well.
Yeah, so
he
did
gave
I.
a peach of a ride.
He's still cat though.
Absolute peach.
Yeah, but
of
there was no bloody
yeah,
taxi.
I'd say he got a slap around the ear by JP. He said, "Just take your hand off the reins, and you're never going to be on him again."
He did. He gave an absolute peach. But first of all, the one in December, like I got a little word about him from a lad who actually rides him out and whatnot. But he was a big price in the week, and we put him up, and he got backed in. I was in Vienna, and paid for my weekend in Vienna. I had a lovely time.
Some fucking life,
on the back
don't
of
he?
Easy's Land.
You're doing some travelling,
Some
Tom.
fucking life. Vienna, South
Africa.
sure, look,
Where else
someone's
you
got to
going?
do it, lads.
We're stuck at home now.
And then he came back to the festival then, and like, I know you don't like this each way betting, but that was a bad each way race, and I got well stuck into him each way. I couldn't believe the price he was, and yeah, he bolted up. But that was a hell of a performance.
It was.
If you take him out of it, Tiger Roll beaten by 20 lengths, and we'd all be talking about Tiger Roll, and he absolutely destroyed Tiger Roll, and just in turn then destroyed the rest of them. So I think he's one. He'll come back and win that next year if he's in.
He's like the new Tiger Roll, or he's the new Garcham Petra. He'll surely be
Petra, yeah.
3 or 4 years winning it, like.
Yeah, if he stays in one piece, it's going to take a hell of a horse to beat him.
It's up there, one of the best performances of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To beat Tiger Roll by that much.
And Tiger Roll bet the rest of them by lengths upon lengths.
Bet the rest of them. That's the key thing there. I think if Tiger Roll was only a length in front of the rest of them, fair enough. But Tiger Roll was clear of the rest of them, and he absolutely annihilated him. And just his kick off of the bend, when he took where the canal turn was meant to be.
Yeah.
And he kicked, and he took 3 lengths out of him, and that was it. Game over. That was the race over for me there. So.
And you can see Keith Donoghue doing something that he's never done before, really, in the cross country. He went after Easy Game really early. He tried to follow him a lot, and it just killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think he's a monster, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to be around for years and win that December race, and then win the cross country at the festival.
Well, December, I don't know about December. They might go in November because December's a handicap.
Oh, no, November
I think
then.
November is the conditions race. So that might suit him better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they look after, because they've got all the cross country racing in France as well, so they can get fit over there. So.
Yeah. He's one to keep on side of. What
would be your 2 or 3 for the festival next year if you had to pick now?
2 or 3. 1, obviously Goshen. Probably easy lands. Come back to me with 3rd.
Goshen, Easy's Land, and top of the game for the Gold Cup.
Jesus, lads, we're all on 2 of them anyway. Goshen for the Champion Hurdle, Easy's Land for the cross country, and I'll throw a wild one in there for the Gold Cup. Manila Indo. I thought he wasn't doing a tap. He was idling. And if you watch, when Champ went past him, he picked up again.
I know.
And he went to go on again, and he pulled the length clear of Alaho.
That's what broke my heart.
Nothing all the way up there. He'll run a big race in the Gold Cup.
To be fair, I just want to say I'm not going off album photo next year, but like he's obviously way shorter in the betting and top of the game. So now, like each way money on top of the game would be a better bet in my opinion.
Just want to say as well on album photo, like I was a bit against him, but this shows you exactly how you win back-to-back Gold Cups and multiple Gold Cups. You have to look after the horse. You give him 1 or 2 runs before that race, and that is it.
You can't be going after this 1 million fucking.
No,
you can't be going after that.
Everyone knocks Henrietta Knight for best mate, but and everyone knocks best mate. Best mate won 3 Gold Cups, lads.
Yeah.
Take some doing. I think Willie will obviously just do the same again. Go back to Tremor New Year's Day. Fantastic for Tremor to get a dual Gold Cup winner coming back there again. I'm sure there'd be a massive crowd down there.
I'd be sold out, I'd say.
But yeah, I think that's how you win back-to-back Gold Cups, and I think he's got a hell of a chance. But I'll just take him on. I think Manila Indo's about 16s. I'll take him on with him.
That's a good shout. My 3rd. I never thought I'd say this. Shishkin for the Arkle.
Yeah, wouldn't knock him.
Yeah, he impressed me as well.
For the amount of trouble that he got in, and still win it going away was quite impressive. I haven't liked the horse at all, even though I backed him when he won his maiden. I haven't really talked to him, but that was impressive. I give it to him.
Bar the horses that fell, he was really, really affected by what happened in the race, and he had a bad jump at 3 out as well, so he done superbly to win.
I think the 2 of them, him and Abracadabras, are both very, very good horses. And they'll both do very well in open grade, I think.
I do think so.
Grade ones against outside a novice company.
Right, Tom, you weren't on the last video, so may as well ask you, what was your highlight of the Cheltenham Festival?
Highlight of the Cheltenham Festival was probably Easy's Land.
Fair enough. I wouldn't knock that.
From a personal point of view, I think a racing point of view, my highlight was probably Album Photo becoming like the third horse in 53 years to win back-to-back Gold Cups or whatever it was. There's something about the Gold Cup, like I wasn't that, I had no real financial interest in it. I wasn't fully behind the horse in it, but it came around to the race, and it just is. It is the biggest race of the week, you know. Yeah. Even if you've no bet in the race, it is still the biggest race of the week. And I thought he was very good, and it was a great performance to win him back to back. So, yeah. Yeah,
for a horse not to jump, great. To win it back to back is. Imagine if he could jump.
He's a super horse.
Financially, Easy's Land and Honeysuckle, but apart from that, probably Album Photo.
Financially, Album Photo was ours.
Album Photo.
Oh, I made a fortune.
Hey lads, you were in trouble going into that final day.
Oh, I was on me knees in a corner, rocking back and forth.
We pulled it out the fire, Tom. We got the winner the last 2 races and everything.
Fair play to you. I was lucky now. I was up from after Honeysuckle won. That was my week. I couldn't lose then after that. But yeah, I was feeling for you a little bit.
We went to the pub on Friday. We said, just relax. Just seen the state of him after Goshen.
When Goshen fell, I was ready.
Gone.
I was gone.
I had to have a word with him. I literally had to have a word for about an hour.
I said, we may as well just fucking give up now.
It was like to calm down a child. It's okay. There's another 6 races to go. We'll be grand. Album Photo still has to come. Oh, but he should have fucking won.
I was cracking.
I'd say you were. To be fair, I would have been as well.
I think I sat there like that for about 10 minutes going, what's going on? Anyway.
I just think the whole week as well. I love the Tuesday. It's just the build up to it.
Yeah.
And I think if we're talking about going next year, I think we've got to get over there Monday, soak it all up, enjoy ourselves, and look forward. And I'd happily do like Monday, Tuesday, and then come home, watch the last 2 days at home. But
I wouldn't mind doing that either. Go the day before, spend Tuesday over there.
I'd happily do Monday, Tuesday,
maybe
Wednesday.
But yeah,
why not go the whole haul for going to go
Friday then in the pub back in Ireland, kind of chill out when you get home Thursday and just watch it on the TV.
I'll be divorced. He'll be divorced.
I won't be.
I will be divorced. Yeah, I think if I turn around and said I'm doing that, there's not a honeymoon planned yet, so I could use that as my honeymoon. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm thinking stag for Cheltenham. She can't say anything to that.
Delay the wedding so we can get Cheltenham as the stag.
I'm in charge, so I can do what I want. I'll get the grief.
You might be next year, Dave, if we have anyone on the preview again, on the live preview, like
Jane Mangan.
2 years in a row then, like.
Jane Mangan, she already popped the question to Jane then, will you?
I will, yeah. She's definitely surely do the preview again next year, will she?
You could propose live at the preview. That is a great shout, Andrew.
See? Content gold.
Even as she says when she says no, not if. When she says no, it'll be like car crash TV as well, so it'll be even better for the podcast.
Either way, me and Tom win.
It'd be one way to go viral anyway, wouldn't
it? We can put that music on The Simpsons while Ralph's heart breaks.
Yeah, Ralph's heart break. Yeah, that exactly is what happened.
Right.
When are we going to do the next podcast, lads?
Do one next week, and we were thinking we might do how we pick out our anti-post bets for Cheltenham or whatever.
Yeah, up for that.
Because what's on? Nothing's on next week.
Are we going to do anything about the flat
preview? We don't know when to start.
I might go into hibernation while the flat's on.
We can. Do you know what we do? Right, everyone here, we'll do our top 5 horses to follow for the flat season next week.
Great. Thanks. Can't wait for that.
Or 3. No, wait. 3.
Top 3.
Top 3. 5 is too many. Top 3.
And this will we do questions and answers next week as well?
You were meant to bring them up today, and I didn't say it yet because I was nice.
But I knew this would take a while.
Yeah. We can do a Q&A, and we can do like anything betting wise that the listeners want to shout out. Put it in the comments below, like anything you want to know about betting. Like, we'll do a special betting one, just like how we pick our anti-post, what we look for in a bet.
Why Tom backs each way.
And we'll do that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, we will do that. So,
right.
From myself, Tom, Dave, stay safe, stay indoors, stay isolated. We get rid of this thing. We get back racing as soon as we can.
Tom, get outside for a walk. You look like someone hasn't been outside in weeks.
Looks like a caveman.
I'm gonna have a shower, lads.
Right, so thanks everyone for watching again, and we will see you next week.